Lions of Penn State University and the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First, for Penn State, at one forward, number 23, a 6'9" sophomore from Clearwater, Florida, Dave Deggett. At the other forward, number 24, a 6'6" freshman from Lakeland, Florida, Deron Hayes. At center, number 40, a 6'9" senior from Hatboro, Pennsylvania, Ed Bogo. And at one guard, number 15, a 6'3" sophomore from Aberdeen, Maryland, Monroe Brown. And at the other guard, number 21, a 6' sophomore from Greensboro, North Carolina, Freddie Barnes. The Nittany Lions are coached by Bruce Parkhill. And now, here are the Scarlet Knights. At one forward, number 31, a 6'8" junior from Carteret, Keith Hughes. At the other forward, number 32, a 6'4" sophomore from Washington, D.C., Darryl Smith. At center, number 24, a 6'7" senior from Washington, D.C., Anthony Duckett. And at the guards, number 3, a 6'3" junior from Los Angeles, Earl Duncan. And number 15, a 6'4" freshman from Morrisville, Pennsylvania, Mike Jones. The Scarlet Knights are coached by Bob Wenzel.
Bob Wenzel in his second year as the head man here at Rutgers. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the opening tip in rebounding margin. Fogel 16 points in the 2 NIT games he's averaging. Rutgers 5-0 as far as NIT home court record, and Hughes 26 points a game in the 2 NIT outings. And Michael, a couple of injuries that are going to hinder these two clubs tonight.
I think so. Of course, James Barnes, second leading scorer and a big rebounder, really hurts Penn State because they love to go inside. And I think we'll talk about the other one. I think that'll hurt Rutgers also. Carter being out.
Jones passes the ball, stolen away. Hayes, and he has it taken away. Jones comes right back with it. Inside to Duckett, and he dribbled it on the inbounds line.
Duckett was getting a fast start. He only takes 3 shots a game, so he would have used up a third of his shots tonight.
Brown out on top with the bounce pass inside, and the jumper. Daggett's, it's good. Dave Daggett, 6'9" sophomore out of Clearwater, Florida. In fact, interestingly enough, their 2 starting forwards are from the state of Florida.
They've got a pipeline to the Heat. And they didn't stop that inside game. And we talked to Coach Wenzel this morning and said, I got to stop the inside.
Turnover. Penn State comes back with it. Brown. In and out, unlucky bounce. And Hayes in the follow.
You mentioned him, Deron Hayes from Lakeland, Florida. He's really been coming on as a freshman. He's been playing well. And Penn State starts the game in a zone. Normally, they'd go man-to-man, but I don't think they have anybody to check Keith Hughes.
4-0. Nittany Lions on top. Inside. Duckett gets it. Anthony Duckett, a senior, 6'7", out of Washington, D.C., puts the Scarlet Knights on the board, and they're down by 2. Looking for Fogel inside. Well, That says it right there.
They started a zone early in the season against Penn State. Everybody did, because Penn State just doesn't shoot three-pointers. The zone worked the first time. Second time, no good. Now they're going man-to-man, and they have to do a better job inside.
Penn State starting off with a hot hand, 3 of 4. Nice no-look pass, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Scarlet Knights. As Duncan trying to whip it inside to Keith Hughes.
Earl has a bad ankle. He's had it for the last half of the season. When he doesn't get a lot of rest between games, he has trouble penetrating. We see the foul right there, and when he doesn't penetrate, Rutgers isn't a great offensive team.
Mike Jones picks up the foul. Brown, I beg your pardon. Brown, his first, team's first. Duncan outside, pulls up just inside the line, won't go. Jones on the follow, and he'll go to the line, I believe, for a couple.
One thing Rutgers does well is the guards really rebound. Here Duncan shoots it. Mike Jones, the other guard, comes in. Very athletic, both guards, Jones and Duncan, and both can rebound on both boards.
Freddie Barnes picks up the foul. Freddie, a sophomore out of Greensboro, North Carolina.
The guy that they keep their fingers crossed, Ed Fogel, he just cannot foul out. When he doesn't play 35 minutes, they're 0-10. So he needs to play the whole ball game for Penn State to be in it.
Jones misses on the second. He's a 59% free throw shooter. And it's a 6-3 ball game. Nittany Lions on top as we have played the first 2.5 minutes of this quarterfinal action. Jumper in and out and back in again.
Well, Rutgers has gone to the zone already. They said they wanted to play a man-to-man. Penn State was really playing better against zone lately, but they're gone zone, both teams.
Nittany Lions get a chance to go into double figures and push this one out to a 7-point ball game. Whips the pass inside, Fogel, and that's going to be Jones grabbing him across the wrist.
I think more than anything else, Bob Wenzel is trying to change defenses just to take away the passing lanes, the patterns that Penn State gets into. Once they get into a flow, they have a great inside. You'll see Fogel really seal well tonight.
Inside Fogel. 10-3. Penn State jumps out to a 7-point margin playing here at Piscataway.
See, that time Hughes, a lot of people think Fogel fouls all the time. He rams into you before the ball comes in. They call it the seal, but they should call it the ram when he does it. We'll watch with Hughes later in the game.
Earl Duncan out on top. Goes to Hughes. Bumped on the way to the hoop. Shot won't go. Rebounded by Penn State's Freddie Barnes. In a whistle inside, and that's going to be, I believe, on Duncan.
Right there is the defense trying to double team Hughes in the middle. That's going to be the key all night long. Hughes, as we said, he's taken more shots than Fogel and Barnes, the two leading scorers for Penn State on the year. So he's a guy that's not afraid to shoot the ball.
Duckett did get the foul. It's his first inside and the easy hoop by Diggins. Datica is checked into the ball game as Penn State has gone out to a 12-3 margin. Bob Wenzel has seen enough. There's a timeout on the floor with 16:15 left until halftime. Penn State by 9. The Scarlet Knights, as you take a look at this replay, great look inside, Mike.
That's the seal. When they front on one side, they really pass the ball well, and Ed Fogel does a better job of banging into his man and then rubbing off. They call it the seal.
Mike, here's how you win on the road. You shoot 6 of 8, 75% to start the game. Rutgers is 1 of 3 for 33%.
Penn State is really recognizing the defense of Rutgers and getting the ball down to Fogel, and everyone knew it ahead of time.
We said Datica in the ball game. Where's number 13? He's a senior out of Elmwood Park, New Jersey.
Hughes inside is being double teamed in this zone, so he moves outside.
Hughes Strong to the hoop, kind of forces the shot. Penn State comes up with the board, and they'll take it all the way to the hoop, and scoring is Barnes.
Hughes takes around 18 shots a game. If you can make him force half of those shots, you'll beat Rutgers.
Here's an interesting note also. Front court scoring. Penn State 12 points, and for Rutgers 2 points.
They should be able to shoot a little better against the matchup. Right now they're trying to force Hughes into their lineup. Right there you saw the double team and the push, and they knock Hughes down inside. He's moving outside now.
It's Vogel's first foul, team foul number 3 in the Nittany Lions. 14-3, they're on top.
Penn State shuffles into a man-to-man from the out of bounds. A change of passing lanes.
Duncan for 3, got it. Well, that's a way to take you out of the doldrums and also add it up in a hurry.
And he was the big man with the bad ankle against Fordham. Fordham played a great ball game, and Duncan was probably the difference.
Daggetts. Now to Hayes on the floor. Back to Daggetts, and he is fouled on the way to the hoop, and he'll go to the line for a couple.
Daggetts didn't think he'd have this much playing time the whole season. Daggetts' power move almost took steps. Definitely got fouled. And Datica and Daggetts have been going at each other for 3 years now. They're both seniors. And these teams really don't like each other in the last 3 years in the Atlantic 10. They played last year in the conference championship, and Rutgers went on to the NCAA, and Penn State went to the NIT.
Daggetts is a 66% free throw shooter, and this is on the first attempt. Datica, now a senior, was a starter last year.
A lot of people did much better last year that are on the bench this year. Perry, Datica, Duckett, they all were starters, and their averages were way up. And then the 3 new players came along, and it changed the face of Rutgers.
Datica misses inside. Duckett on the follow. Anthony Duckett, the senior out of Washington, D.C. Youngster playing with a broken foot. As Mike was telling you, at the other end, that's an air ball. Lumpkin, who had come back in the lineup replacing Smith, number 44, comes down with the rebound. Inside, Duckett.
Well, that's
back
the way
to a 5-point ball game, and one thing Penn State has done so far, they've kept the crowd out of it. Not right now.
Yeah. And that's the way Duckett played last year. He took 250 shots last year, and he's only taken 100 this year. So Mr. Hughes is getting his shots.
He's off to a good start as Hughes picks up the foul. Duckett now with 6 early points in this one in the first 6.5 minutes.
There's Hughes following Fogel, and he leaves him go right there. Now they double team him. And played a little close. As you can see, they're trying to play a lot of different defenses on Fogel underneath.
14 fouls in the Scarlet Knights. Turnaround by Fogel.
And he has something to say to Keith Hughes about his defensive ability. It hasn't changed from when he played at Syracuse.
Fogel now with 6 points. And the Nittany Lions push it back out to 7. Looking for Hughes inside, and he is drawing a world of blue attention.
It's a 1-2-2 matchup, and Rutgers trying to send cutters through to get the disorganization of the matchup. There's a cutter going right through there. Duncan comes out, and he's wide open, but they missed it.
Lumpkin. Who said his shooting was a little off recently? He blitzed it. Jumper from the left side, and Deron Hayes with the answer for the Nittany Lions, and it's back to a 6-point game.
Freshman of the year in Atlantic 10, sat out last year with a stress fracture. We have more people with stress fractures on this court than...
Lumpkin passes up the 3, 15-footer, not there. And a rebound by Hayes. Mike, tell us this. If the game's in the 60s, that's Penn State's ball game, isn't it?
Yes.
If it's in the 70s or the 80s, that's what Rutgers is looking for?
Right. And you can speed up the Penn State team. They're easy to set tempo against. You go down and press them. They haven't been real good against the press this year. Rutgers hasn't tried it as they throw the ball. Good pass inside.
That was a nice one. Dagich just looked to see where he was going to go with the basketball before he had his hands on it. Perry checks into the lineup. Lee Perry, senior from Freehold, New Jersey, 6'7", 210 pounds, and Lumpkin, who hit that three-pointer a moment ago, is over on the bench, and Bob Wenzel is not talking about the three. He's talking about the 15-footer that he missed right after that.
Perry played a lot last year. Hasn't got the same playing time this year, but he's capable in there, the senior.
Normally plays the 4 spot and can light it up pretty well.
As can Danica, that's just taken the shot.
Running jumper off balance, forced it some, and Fogel with the rebound. 11 minutes, 45 seconds left until halftime. 19-13. Penn State leads this quarterfinal action of the National Invitational Tournament. Also tonight, New Orleans is playing up in Nashville against Vanderbilt. Air ball inside is Dagich.
Well, they
couldn't find the rain.
Against Maryland, he had a great game in the second round of the NIT, but Rutgers has the scouting report on Mr. Dagich.
Perry uses the body to take it back, and the rebound. Uran Hayes has done a really good job on the boards so far.
Well, he really has, and he's really coming around. As high as 18 against George Washington this year, but a much more confident basketball player now.
Inside, not there, tipped by Dagich, counted. Now for Hayes, one offensive and a couple of defensive boards. Dagich now with 7 points.
Penn State normally a man-to-man team, and going with this matchup zone tonight, and it's bothering Rutgers.
Danica deep in the corner. Perry comes down with it. That was touched last by Penn State. Scarlet Knights will hold on to it. Timeout on the floor, 10:31 left in the first half. Penn State 21 and Rutgers 13. That is indeed unfortunate, but it certainly can happen, and it did just a couple of nights ago. Penn State won it 80-78.
Hasn't been a real great year for Maryland this year.
Jumper by Perry. First 2 for him in the night. And we mentioned to you, he can light it up when he gets it going, so he hits his first one.
Tempo is the way Penn State would like it. No fast break baskets, no outside shooting for Rutgers, and a lot of inside shooting for Penn State. It's their ball game so far.
50% now, 6 of 12. Crowd wanted a 3-second violation or a 5 count. 63% is what 50% of Rutgers, 63 in Penn State. You feel momentum maybe changing just a little bit. I think this is an extremely important trip as far as Rutgers getting back into this one.
Rutgers a little more aggressive in their man-to-man, and I think that's what they have to do against Penn State. Really put pressure on the guards, and that's the way to stop the ball from getting inside.
Jones would have counted had it gone, and the finger is being pointed at 21 Freddie Barnes.
Penn State has time to pass the basketball. Freddie Barnes and Monroe Brown do a good job. When you pressure them, they're not great passing guards. Freddie Barnes is a better penetrator.
2 fouls on him. Now, Freddie's the catalyst to this ball club, and he has played extremely well against this Rutgers team.
Massachusetts, West Virginia, they pressed Penn State earlier in the year. Whenever they have 19 turnovers, they lose the ball game. That's the magic number. If you get them to turn it over 19 times, they're going to lose. And so far, Rutgers hasn't come close to that figure.
Mike Jones, freshman, Morrisville, Pennsylvania, 6'4", 175 pounds. As Duckett comes back into the lineup. And Perry will go back to the bench. Gets them both. Rebounding in the ball game, as you see after the made free throw. Full court pressure. Penn State solves it extremely well. And at the other end, it is blocked by Duckett. Michael Jennings, 0-0, had come in during the timeout. Take another look at that block.
Well, Jennings a little nervous here. He probably should have, when he got the ball, he really should have taken it to the hoop hard, and you just see Rutgers is bumping a little more now.
Smith going to take it back out and shut it up. 21-17. It can be a 2-point ball game, and it is.
Little tempo there. Rutgers pushed it down, got the ball into Hughes before Penn State had time to set up their matchup.
Just under 9 minutes to play.
Here comes that pressure we were talking about that Penn State doesn't like.
Hand in the face.
A little different getting it inside now with the hands up.
Pass thrown away. Bruce Parkhill still sitting very calmly across the way. But should Rutgers score on this trip right here and tie this score, you can hear the crowd. That fourth turnover is going through his mind right now that they got to stop doing that. Inside, not there. The tip back out. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Duckett has it stolen. Brown knocked it away and a foul in the backcourt.
Well, Bob Wenzel turned to page 3 of the scouting report. The page that says press them a little bit. Now they're starting to turn up the heat. Good steal.
Monroe Brown. And then he just accidentally ran into it. But accident or not, it's his second foul.
Monroe Brown's the best defensive player on the Penn State team. Really gets them going when they go into their man-to-man. Money Brown from Aberdeen, Maryland.
That's why they call him Money Brown. Monroe takes it to the hoop and pushes Penn State back out to a 4-point lead.
Of course, when you pressure out, it allows the guards to penetrate. And Penn State's guards, the one thing they do well is penetrate. We saw it there with the pushed out defense.
Just inside the 3-point line, it's a 2. Duncan would love to have had it been a 3, but you could see his right foot on the 19.9 line.
He's been consistent. 23 times he scored in double figures this year for Rutgers.
So he's got 5 tonight, and that one is stolen, and a foul. And that is strictly out of frustration as Darrell Ricks had the ball taken away from him. I beg your pardon, Deron Hayes, and he just reached up and grabbed him, and it's a second foul on him. Timeout on the floor, 7:24 left until the halftime. Penn State 23, Rutgers 21.
Rutgers was dropping back into that zone and man-to-man. Now they're putting a little pressure on them out by half court. They're making each pass a little tougher to get into. Therefore, instead of looking into Fogel, they're trying to penetrate, and Rutgers has been much more successful playing the pressure man.
Points off turnovers. 4 turnovers in the first 2 minutes, forced 5 turnovers since. That's the Scarlet Knights. 23-21, Penn State by a couple.
Penn State will stay into that zone as long as they keep Hughes contained.
Nice feed inside. Duncan, and the ball is stolen. Knocked away. Monroe Brown gets it across court. Michael Jennings, 0-0. Loses the ball as he had it tipped on the floor, and Smith comes up with it. Behind the back to Perry. Showtime.
You can see right there that Rutgers has better athletes than Penn State. Loose ball, 3 Rutgers players got a hand on it.
We are tied. Fogel with the shot. Rebounded by the Scarlet Knights. Smith down court. Danica has it blocked by Fogel, but it's knocked right back out to Duncan.
Penn State having trouble getting into the zone.
Not there. Hughes as it comes back outside to Jennings. Fogel's left alone in the lane, and he misses.
Rutgers did a bad job of getting back on defense, but Penn State missed the open one. When it's transition time, this favors Rutgers, and here Jennings goes in, and you can see how quickly Rutgers goes from defense to offense. No one back for Penn State. 3 people for Rutgers. If it's a running game, Rutgers goes to Madison Square Garden.
By the way, that foul on Monroe Brown, and that's 2 on the sophomore. Tied at 23, just over 6 to play. Earl Duncan, junior from Los Angeles, at the line, and he is the wrong person to foul out there right now. He is an 81% free throw shooter.
His nickname should be Money when he gets on that line.
And it happens every time. As soon as you compliment him. Okay, he had a great game against Missouri. 28 points, 8 assists, and had no turnovers.
One has to remember he did play for Syracuse, so he's going to miss a few foul shots.
Missed them both, and Rutgers comes down with the carom. Duckett. And the Knights turn it over. Rutgers had a chance to go in front.
Datica is a lot more minutes tonight than he normally does. He scored his 1,000th point for Rutgers in the tournament against Temple the other night. So he's their all-time leading three-point shooter in history.
Duckett with the rebound.
Normally that would have been James Barnes, the second leading scorer for Penn State, taking that inside shot. He hasn't been in the ballgame. He broke his toe Sunday.
Nice feed inside to Duckett. And Rutgers on top with 5:22 until halftime.
Duckett only averaging 5 points a game. He's having a career tonight.
He's got 8 points right now. Brown behind that screen of Fogle.
See the pressure. They don't look in well. And once they do look in, this young man is not used to scoring in there.
That going to be on Datica? Is it going to be on Duckett?
I think Datica might have reached in.
Datica got the foul. That's his second and team foul number 7. Oh, 6. I beg your pardon. They'd already rotated it. So one more. Actually, one more in the bonus situation for both clubs. Tip inside, and that's going to be offense.
Little better defensive effort with Rutgers, and I don't know if it goes hand in hand with the fact that Keith Hughes is out of the ball game, but they are concentrating a little bit more on defense.
On the scoreboard, they've got number 13 with a foul, but I believe it's 23 Dagets, isn't it? Hughes is back in the lineup. Yeah, now they change it. First one on Dagets, but it's a 1-on-1 situation. Hughes has really been kept in check tonight. Only 2 points.
And that's normally, if you keep Hughes with 2 points, you're 10 points up. But Penn State has forgotten about their main man, Ed Fogle. Rutgers hasn't stopped him, but Penn State's guards have.
Fogle a couple of times in the last 2 minutes had open shots in the paint and missed 10 and 12 footers. Too hard up the front iron, gets 1 of the 2. And it's 26-23. Largest lead of the night by Rutgers. Penn State led by 9 early on. Brown looking for somebody to cut to. Fogle had the open lane and he stopped his penetration.
He's not quick.
He didn't take it on through, pulled it up.
We'll see next time if he tries to draw the foul.
Inside, Fogle with the block, and it's going to stay with Rutgers.
Great inside defense, as you see on Hughes. A double team on Hughes all the time. And you notice no one reached in, no one gave him the body. Just make sure the double team is there.
Coach Parkhill, he was out wanting traveling call just a moment ago.
He did a great job at William & Mary earlier in his career, and now he's rebuilt the Penn State program. First time in 34 years they won a postseason game, and that was last year against Murray State in the NIT, as things are coming down out of the crowd, I think.
Bob Wenzel. Bob Wenzel over, he didn't make the announcement. The gentleman handling the PA, Jim Wilson, did. But some things are coming out on the floor, as Mike said, and that's the reason for the hold-up in play. Tim Higgins I saw Timmy just last Saturday. He called that Oklahoma-North Carolina game down in Austin.
Great game.
Yeah.
There's only one thing wrong with this announcement. The Penn State fans are completely in the right corner, and the Rutgers fans now are saying it's the Penn State people that are throwing. This is an NIT game. Penn State got quite a few tickets to it, and they could be the ones.
In and out jumper won't go as Perry got buried in the middle. What was going on there? It looked like a fullback with a lead block.
No, that was a box out.
Stolen by Brown, and Fogel, who had missed 3 straight, puts an end to the drought. And before that, Mike, Penn State had missed 5 straight shots.
And that's not Penn State. If they want to win, Fogel shoots 62% from the field, and that little cherry pick basket there will help his average.
Fogel's got 8, driving hard to the hoop. It's going to be offense. Charging against Michael Jones.
The patience is not there, and against a matchup zone, if you send a cutter through and pass the ball, you get a shot.
Rutgers by 1 with 3 minutes, 48 seconds left until halftime. Timeout on the floor. 14-3 run to open the game by the Nittany Lions. So 11, their largest lead. 12 points off turnovers, but the Rutgers 23-11 in a counter run, so to speak. Duck at 9 points, 4 of 4 from the field. Don't forget, coming up on Monday night, the doubleheader semifinals from the Garden starting at 7 o'clock Eastern time. We'll have it for you here on ESPN. The finals then on Wednesday. Inside with the running jump hook by Vegas.
I could score inside if they passed the ball that well. That was a great pass from Ed Fogel, the big guy who's usually in there.
Vegas has already scored about 2.5 times what he normally does. He's normally just over 3. He has 9 right now.
And they left the pressure, and they're letting Penn State pass the ball again.
Penn State back on top by 1, 27-26. And all of a sudden, we're down to 3 minutes left until halftime. And this goes back to the question I asked you earlier. This has to be a Penn State pace in the ball game.
No doubt about it. That time,
it's only 4 points for Hughes.
Yes, and that time the matchup zone doesn't give you a lot of weak side help like a lot of straight 2-3 zones, so you can throw it down there inside.
Jones ripping away the rebound, and then they turn it over at the other end. And Bob Wenzel applauds across the way and says, good hustle, let's do it again. Just take better care of the basketball.
He's their best defensive player, Mike Jones. No one said anything about passing. He's had a great year, freshman. Stopped Bimbo Coles from Virginia Tech. Mark Stevenson from Duquesne. He has had a great defensive year.
Jennings way out on that three-pointer attempt.
They've only taken 263 three-pointers this year as a team, so they don't shoot many of those.
Perry. Just inside the three-point line, and Rutgers back up by 3. Fogel out on top. This one takes to the hoop and picks up the dribble inside the paint.
But notice the inside-outside. As soon as Fogel threw it back outside and the defense moved out, it went right back inside. And you tell your ball club, don't play them out on the perimeter. They're going to shoot the ball inside, but it never fails.
Way too hard. Perry with the rebound. Duncan on the three-point line. It's a 2. 32-27. Largest lead of the night by Rutgers.
Barry Parkhill just yelled out, inside, inside.
Boy, this crowd really making some noise at the rack. Fogel inside, and he's fouled by Perry.
Good offensive concept. The dribble drive and then the stop and the bounce pass right there. Look at the seal. Good inside help that time. Rutgers has not had a lot of good weak side help tonight. That time they did, but the pass was just too good.
Jones goes out. Datica comes back in the lineup. That's the first foul called on Perry tonight as Fogel knocks that first one down. Fogel now with 9 points, can go to double figures on this one. As Lem Joyner, a junior out of Wilmington, Delaware, checks into the lineup. Brown will get a break with 1:17 left until halftime. They don't want him to pick up another foul right before intermission time. 3-point game.
If Ed Fogel could work with someone like Alonzo Mourning on how to seal and get position, I think someone like Alonzo Mourning would score 100 points inside. Fogel does it the best.
Not there. Tip inside. Count it. Boy, that is persistence by Hughes.
That's why he's so difficult to guard. He can rebound. He can shoot the three-pointer. Does a little of everything.
Now he's got 4 points in the last minute. Takes him up to 6. Jennings has it blocked.
That was a great block that time inside by Rutgers. They were really playing Fogel hard, and they didn't even see Jennings drive.
Look at Hughes.
And Hughes, beautiful. Now Hughes is coming to life.
Shot clock is off. And you see Rutgers stacking out on top. They're going to run it down about 10 more, well, not actually 10, about 8 seconds now before they set it in motion. Well, they better set it in motion.
This guy will.
Duncan, hard to the hoop, took a chance on getting an offensive foul, and they will come away dry on that one. But they head to the locker room after being down by 11 points early. It is Rutgers by 5 at halftime. So at intermission time, it's Rutgers 34, Penn State 29 in this quarterfinal action. Let's go back to Chris Fowler. And he averages right at 11 points, and they took him out with just under 6 minutes to play in the first half when he picked up that second foul. But he's got 3 to give here in the second half. And a foul. Fogel very close to picking up the foul. They're going to say it is against Rutgers. Smith.
And Fogel is not the type of scorer that can carry Penn State by himself. And without the other big guy, James Barnes, in there, the guards are going to have to shoot a little bit more in this contest, or I think Penn State's going to come up a little short.
First foul on Smith, and an offensive foul against Penn State. Fogel is following the official all the way to the bench. And all the way to the scorer's table.
That's his seal move, where he rams you and then goes back towards the basket. They finally caught him.
Second foul on Fogel. 1 team foul each in this opening 10 seconds.
Penn State out of that matchup. Good move by Coach Parkhill, going man-to-man, start of the second half.
Duckett way outside. Wanted the bounce pass in the middle. He'll bring it back out on top. Jones. Now Duckett again. Duncan with a lob pass inside, and Dagich breaks it up. Rutgers comes back with the ball. Duncan. Anthony Duckett.
The big guy is, as we said, he's continuing his career night. All inside.
11 points for him. Dagich, almost an air ball. Fogel on the follow.
Fogel's not a great jumper. He's a position player, both offensive rebounds and a lot of people would say he didn't jump 3 inches to get that rebound, but he's always in the right place.
Fogel has 12 points. As Smith takes it strong to the hoop. Fogel with the rebound.
Fogel once again in the right place at the right time. Doesn't run the court well, doesn't jump well.
Freddie Barnes with the penetration.
That's a plus. They have to get him involved.
With Carter with the ankle injury, that's one of the things that Rutgers loses. That's the availability to penetrate.
Yes, and he does it well, Carter, for Rutgers. Back in the zone defense for Penn State. They just wanted to show them the man-to-man 3 times down. Now go back to the defense they think will work on Hughes the best.
Jones wants the lob inside to Hughes. Nothing was there, and turnover. Good heavens. Darrell Smith went up for the jump. Nobody was there. Just threw it right back over his head.
And Carter would be playing Darrell Smith, the sophomore from Worcester, Connecticut. He played 29 minutes against Fordham, and usually when you throw somebody in there the first game they do well, like Daggetts for Penn State, but the second game is where the scouting report usually catches up to you.
Vogel, as he get help, knocked away, almost stolen. Barnes has it knocked off his foot. Daggetts misses the short jump shot, and that foul will be on Smith.
It's really refreshing to see someone like Daggetts go under there. Hasn't played a lot all season, but look at him seal there, get good position. And a lot of the coaches out there are saying the defensive man's always on the high side. He should be on the baseline side. Well, he was on the baseline side when they started passing, but Penn State always seems to get you so they can seal you and take an easy layup.
Darrell Smith with his second foul. It's his second team foul, and Lumpkin back in the lineup, number 44. 6'7" freshman. Turnover. Scarlet Knights come up with it. Hughes.
They couldn't find him in the zone defense. He went outside.
Duncan with a 2-on-1 pass is kicked away. Nope, they're going to say Lumpkin touched it last.
Hughes came down and the zone couldn't find him. Usually Daggetts is matched up with him, and Daggetts was underneath. Hughes went outside and made an easy basket. If they can get into transition, I think Rutgers could hurt Penn State. The game is too slow for them.
Right side angle, bounce pass stolen. Outlet pass, battle for it, and that's going to stay with Rutgers.
Good quickness on Rutgers going after the loose ball, and good defense by Keith Hughes, something he's not noted for.
Now watch Mike Jones. Oh, the replay stopped right there. He kept saying, no, it's our ball, and the official was pointing toward Rutgers.
He was trying to convince him.
He wanted to make sure the strong lobby backed up what had actually happened. 38-33. Just over 16 minutes to play in this quarterfinal action. Both of these teams trying to get a ticket to Madison Square Garden for the semifinals on Monday night. We'll have it right here on ESPN beginning at 7 o'clock. And the finals then on Wednesday. Tip inside. Duncan winds up with it and misses the layup.
That's a good man-to-man defense that created 23 wins for Penn State this year. Of course, they were 16-0 down at Penn State.
Deron Hayes dribbled it off his foot. Timeout on the floor. 15:40 left in the ballgame. Rutgers by 5. Finals at Madison Square Garden. Let's check the times for you. 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock Eastern time. That's on Monday. And then the finals of this year's National Invitational Tournament. Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern time. So Monday and Wednesday, the semis and then the finals of this year's NIT. We'll have them here on ESPN.
Will it be Anthony Bonner in St. Louis or Luke Longley, the big center from New Mexico? Hawaii has a great offensive rebounding team. They're all in the running.
Luke by way of Australia, right?
Oh, he's a good one, too.
Tipped away and stolen. Deron Hayes comes up with it for Penn State. Blocked. Jones got it.
Daggett's got to learn to pass the ball back outside. He's not a Fogel in the middle.
Tip by Fogel this time, but it comes back to the Nittany lines. Barnes throws it away.
Remember that 19 turnover mark. When they have 19 turnovers, they lose the game. They're up to about 12 now. They just don't have enough firepower to throw the ball away like that. Penn State has to be careful, patient.
Lumpkin with a running jumper. Fogle goes down. Hayes comes up with the carry.
That was a good description. Running jumper. Not in control.
14:30 left in the ball game. Rutgers by 5. Shot is blocked inside. Jones got a piece of it.
And notice now they're taking Daggetts out of the middle, and they're putting Monroe Brown down there and trying to get some inside pivot moves by Monroe Brown, and everybody wanted to block his shot.
Hayes, Lumpkin all over him.
Clever move, double pick for De'Ron Hayes. They're trying to get the freshman into the offense, so they ran a double pick for him.
Hayes holds it up, in and out, long, lucky bounce, and Duckett with the rebound for the Scarlet Knights.
Freshman of the year in the Atlantic 10 is having a tough night, De'Ron Hayes.
Duncan shot is off. Fogle with the rebound. You know, they mentioned to us, he said, when Fogle plays less than 35 minutes, if he gets into foul trouble, Penn State is 0-10. That one taken away. Another turnover against Penn State. Jones all the way to the hoop. Count the basket, and Fogle picks up the foul.
Penn State is turning the ball over on one end. Their defense in transition is not good enough to stop it, and Fogle just couldn't get back. There it is right there, as you see. A good pass in there, but Daggetts is tired. And transition, you see Fogle run in there, try to pick up a charge. Good call by the official.
Daggetts is out of the lineup, and C.J. Johnson comes in. 3-point play completed by Jones. He now has 6 points. Johnson is a junior out of Dale City, Virginia. 6'8", 215. He played like an All-American last time out, and he needs to if he's going to put the Nittany Lions back in this one. They're down by 8.
Somebody needs to besides Fogle.
Fogle got hit in the eye, and he turns around to the official and says, "I got a contact knock loose."
That can be a little embarrassing to tell the official, "I got fouled and you missed it." But good officials will stop the play, even though it looked like he was fouled right out in the open. He's asking the official, "Do you see it?" "I can't see it."
I think he might have hit himself.
That's what it looked like. It looked like his arms
the ball was
came
coming
up.
away.
Of course, the fans don't know that from Penn State. The big thing is, what do they do with Penn State in the next 2 years, Ron? They're a Big Ten team. The Big Ten hasn't set up a schedule for them. I don't think it's Ron Bertovich's problem, the commissioner of the Atlantic 10, but I think they're going to end up letting Penn State maybe play 2 games with every team and not count it in the conference, or they'll play them once next year and once the following year, every member of the Atlantic 10. But I really don't think it's the Atlantic 10's problem. The Big Ten just hasn't told Penn State when they can join the basketball conference, and I think that's going to really hurt Penn State's recruiting down the line unless the Big Ten comes up with a plan.
Mike, there's still some people that say they don't think that'll ever come about.
Right now, I'm one of them.
41-33, and look at the Rutgers defense. And the crowd is trying to be a good 6th man. 2-pointer just inside the line, and what a big one by Money Brown.
Great basket by Money Brown. They needed an outside basket, and there's a steal.
29-22, Vanderbilt by 7 in the first half over New Orleans. The other quarterfinal game going on tonight. 2 more tomorrow evening.
American South, New Orleans, that's an excellent league. They don't have an automatic bid. No one went to the NCAA, but good league down there, and they're playing tough in Nashville.
De'Ron Hayes.
Good move by Bruce Parkhill. He moved the big center, Fogel, out, and he put Deron Hayes underneath the freshman, and it opened it up.
4-point game, 41-37. You know what Tim Brando is saying at home right now? Mike, it's New Orleans. It's not New Orleans.
Yeah.
Timmy, I'm trying to educate him.
He gave me a lesson at that. New Orleans. I got it.
All with good body control. Can't get it to go down, but counted as Lee Perry. The senior out of Freehold takes back up on the follow. 6 for him, but it's 43-37.
They box out very well in their man-to-man, but when they go that zone, they leave some holes in the middle.
Hayes. Well, Lumpkin was all over him, and he still got it to go down.
They're paying so much attention to Ed Fogel. They're letting Mr. Hayes open underneath. Finally, a little firepower from someone besides Fogel.
Duncan, and immediately Brown is all over him. Lumpkin, 3-point attempt, not there, crashing the boards, and on the carom, Hayes comes back with it.
Fans wanted his steps.
Well, he couldn't make up his mind on his plant foot. Foul on the floor. It'll be the 3rd team foul against Rutgers, and I believe Jones. Yep, 15, Mike Jones. So there's a timeout on the floor. 11-13 left in the game. It is Rutgers 43, Penn State 39.
Somebody for 3 times, you take away their strength. Look at the circle. They have a tent around Ed Fogel. They're not going to let him score. The problem is we've got Fogel covered. Now they run Hayes back to the other side, and they still have a double team on Fogel. Hayes scores. Here's a second look at it. They're going to stay right there with Fogel. I got Fogel. Nope. And that's good move by Bruce Parkhill, getting somebody else into the scoring.
4-point game, 11 minutes are just over. Tipped away, and Hayes fouled on the floor. See who Jimmy Higgins is going to call here.
This is a gamble, taking Fogel out of the offense so much, but right now the gamble is paying off.
Perry just picked up his 2nd foul. And with just over 11 minutes to play, Rutgers leading by 4. Let's throw it back to Chris Fowler for a moment. Chris.
Okay, fellas, we're going to go from Piscataway to Nashville.
Take a look at what has happened. Penn State has forged on top by 1, but Smith will put the Scarlet Knights back up by 1. Oh, we got a good one. Penn State won their game against Rutgers by 11 when they played at home. And when they came here to play in Piscataway, it was a 2-point game, and Rutgers won that one.
Well, Barnes, Brown, and Hayes all scored while we were away for Penn State.
Barnes with a very big 3-pointer into points that were picked up. Fogel tips it, and the turnover, Money Brown comes away with it. 8 minutes, 15 seconds left to play. Who will go to Gotham?
Penn State has not substituted at all this half. And it looks like right now Rutgers a little better shape as far as physical goes than Penn State.
Well, Mike, look inside at the battle. C.J. Johnson trying to find the basketball, and Lee Perry is just all over him. Fogel got his man in the air. Keith Hughes couldn't get the shot to go, but Hughes will pick up the foul.
Hughes has been given the responsibility to try to stop Fogel. So they've taken Fogel out of the offense, and other people have been really contributing, and that's why Penn State is back within a point in this ball game. Now Fogel is going to be the focal point of the offense, it looks like, for Penn State.
Datica comes in, replacing Jones. And now Anthony Duckett, who played a huge part in the first half, will come back in. And Lee Perry will come out for the Scarlet Knights. Attendance tonight, 68,000 or 6,827.
Good contingent down from University Park. Penn State has that whole one corner, and they're making a lot of noise.
So it's 7 minutes, 53 seconds left of the ball game. Penn State leading by 1. We'll be right back.
School history does more than score at Penn State. Ed Fogel in the circle. Watch him set a great pick here. Everybody's heads turn. They don't even see the drive on the other side of the court. Now watch Mr. Fogel all the way down court. Beats the guards back, beats everybody back. Great defensive effort. He's the senior leader on the Nittany Lions.
That's really good hustle. 6'9", 200 pounds. Fogel with 14 points. He leads the Nittany Lions in scoring tonight. Duckett, the leader for RU, as they chant here at the rack. He has 11.
And look at him communicate in that zone. Very difficult matchup zone defense. If you don't talk in the matchup, you don't play it.
Duncan all the way to the hoop. Gets an unfriendly carom. And Jennings loses the ball. Keith Hughes.
And that was a freshman mistake by Jennings. They're not a fast break team. He tried to go down court too quick. Lost the ball.
Freddie Barnes on the outside. 49-48. Rutgers by 1. Darrell Smith called for the violation.
And here's a couple of subs, and this was another good move by Coach Parkhill. He put Darrell Ricks in the ball game, Mike Jennings in the ball game. He needed to get his starters out of there, give them a little rest, and they gave them a valuable 2-minute rest.
That foul a moment ago on Datica, his 3rd. Team foul number 6. Just under 7 to play. Rutgers by a single point.
Give a little man-to-man look now. They haven't seen it for the last 7 minutes. And you can see Rutgers has to pull out and try to get organized.
Last time they did it for 1 series down the floor, just inside 3-point. Crowd wants 3, but it's 2 by Duncan.
Earl Duncan says, I know how to take the man-to-man.
And the last time Penn State did that, in the very next trip down the court, they were back in the zone.
Yeah, they don't want to stay man-to-man too long. Earl Duncan's eyes light up.
Hayes working against Smith. Freddie Barnes and Datica. Boy, did you see Datica the minute he picked up that dribble? Jumped in his pocket, didn't he?
They're trying to pressure him to keep that ball from getting inside. Penn State will get it inside.
Hayes whoops it up to the basket, not there. On the follow, Hayes has it blocked inside, and Duncan comes up with the basketball.
And I think we'll see Mr. Daggett get up off the bench. Hughes is yelling at his teammates, I have Fogel, I can score.
Lobber inside, and that is an offensive foul called against Keith Hughes.
Frustration setting in. Hughes really thought he could score on Fogel, and he's telling his teammates right now, you got to give me the ball. He's orchestrating now. Ooh, there's the little, I can score if they let me use the forearm enough.
Forearm is effective. That's 3 fouls on him, by the way.
And he's not talking to the referee there. He's talking to his guards.
Forearm is effective, and particularly across the Adam's apple. Make that baby go around like a pea and a whistle, and you get the opposition's attention.
It works occasionally if they let you go.
1-1 as Fogel goes to the line. 2-point game.
But I imagine Mr. Hughes is telling the referee, you let Ed Fogel do that every time. Bang into you and then get position.
Datica back to the bench. Jones reports in, and Fogel gets them both. 1-point game.
The last 3 games here, a total of 10 points. Rutgers winning them all against Penn State, but always close.
Fogel with 16 points. He's perfect at the line. 6 of 6. Penn State with the zone, and they try to push it out front, Mike.
trying to get that matchup to make a mistake.
Duncan with a three. Vogel clears the board.
Shot selection will be very important.
Smith with the foul as Hayes took it up.
Coach Parkhill probably yelled out, no, good. He does not want this ball club to push it up too quick. They haven't been really successful at that all day.
Darrell Smith with his third. Well, Penn State has got 5 fouls to give, or actually 4 before 1 and 1. They've committed only 2 second-half fouls.
That could work for them or against them. If they're behind at the end of the ball game, they want Rutgers to shoot some foul shots. That'll work against them. Last year, Penn State had Tom Hovast, the great outside shooter. This year, Deron Hayes is more of a slasher type scorer. Doesn't shoot as much outside.
Hayes now 14 points for the freshman. 52-51. The Nittany Lions back on top.
Sagging man-to-man, keeping an eye on Hughes. Switching on all picks.
Back out to Jones. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Down to 14 and down to 13. Hughes, he's going to take it all the way to the hoop, and that foul has been called on Freddie Barnes.
The way Hughes has been calling for the ball, they should have put 4 men on him. You knew he was going to shoot this basketball at this time.
Timeout on the floor. 4:05 left in this quarterfinal game from Rutgers University. And our score, the Nittany Lions 52 and the Scarlet Knights 51. Saturday, the NCAA Division I women's basketball at the East Regional Final at 12 Eastern Time. Then the Mid-East at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. The final in the Midwest, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And for the West Region Final, it will be 12 midnight Eastern Time. All of that action Saturday here on ESPN.
Interesting timeout. If he would have waited 5 seconds, Coach Wenzel would have had an automatic TV timeout, but he still has 3 left. No, he has 2 left now, we see, and that could be costly. We'll have to see down the stretch.
Clock goes under 4 minutes to play. Penn State by 1. Pass into traffic. Freddie Barnes dishes it back and score the hoop, and he'll go to the line. Money Brown.
And out of the timeout, the first time they've been aggressive in their man-to-man. They moved it out to half court, cut off the passing lanes, gave Rutgers a different look.
Plus the fact, as you look at this, well, this is the end of the play. Boy, he gets the roll as Duncan charged with the foul. It's only his first, but the pass was into traffic. Not that one, but the Rutgers pass.
The half-court pass, and that was that aggressive defense. Every time they give Rutgers a different look, it bothers them.
Misses on the free throw, so it's a 3-point game. And this crowd here at the rack trying to get the Scarlet Knights going. They're down by 3. At 17 Rutgers turnovers now.
Matchup zone. Let's see if the different look bothers Rutgers.
Penn State has scored 20 points, Mike, off those 17 turnovers. Bouncer inside. Hughes got tangled up.
And each time it gives them a different idea of how to try to get the ball to Hughes, and they haven't been good enough to try to get Hughes the ball.
Just as I'm talking about turnovers, they commit number 18.
That could be a magic number for Rutgers also, that 19 that we talked about earlier for Penn State.
Vogel flashes inside. They can't get the ball to him as Hughes with a good job defensively.
This is their flex offense. They don't get the ball inside with this offense, but it is a good stall type offense. This is more of a jump shot at the elbow type offense.
4 seconds on the shot clock. Almost an air ball, and Duckett comes away with the rebound.
And you know what we said, when Penn State shoots outside, what happens?
Taking it strong to the hoop, whistle inside, and it looks like Hayes at Penn State gets the foul. No, I beg your pardon. Vogel picks up his 4th foul.
We won't even talk about what would happen if he fouled out. I don't know if he can play with 4 like Bo Kimball did the other night, scoring 35 points in the second half.
I'll talk about a big one to miss. He still can hit this one here and make it a 2-point game.
Penn State 23 wins on the season. 2 years in a row they've won 20. They haven't done that for a lot of years.
Second one goes down, and 54-52 with 2:26 left in the ball game. And Hughes and Dagich kind of mixing it up with the words as they came from down court, and one of the officials ran over and said, "Hey, let's play."
Loser goes home. Winner goes to Madison Square Garden. NIT semifinals.
Listen to this crowd at the rack. You can look for Penn State to run 40 seconds off of it if they can, and that is knocked out of bounds. And Hughes dodged the bullet there, as he might have gotten a little wrist. But the officials turn on the time and they let him play. They give him the benefit of the doubt if nobody gains advantage.
And I think it's clever going into the flex here. It gives you a lot more picks, and it's easier to pass in this offense.
Monroe Brown asking again for the motion. They try the screen down underneath. Shot clock is at 10. Well, you got it on the left part of your screen. Dagich with the ball, 3 seconds, 2, bounce pass. Hayes scores just as the clock was running out.
Now that's running it down, and they stayed in the flex. A lot of times you will not get a shot with 8 seconds to go running the flex.
Now you can see the game clock. Under a minute and a half to play. It's a 4-point Penn State lead. Duncan way outside. Good heavens, it's a 22, 23-footer.
He's a takeover type guy, Duncan. He plays his best when the game's on the line. They have to check in.
Huge trip right here. Nittany Lions by 1.
They're running over the picks.
Trying to say Freddie Barnes just took it right on the chin, didn't he? Duncan said, "Hey, you're in my way.
You're going to have to win this game."
Yeah.
They're going to run it down again. This time they won't be as fortunate with the type of shot they get.
Three-pointer on the way, not there, Duckett. And the shot clock is off. Game clock, there it is, going under 30 and a timeout on the floor. 29 seconds left in the game. Penn State by 1, but the Scarlet Knights have the basketball. Timeouts. Penn State with 4. Rutgers 1. Possession error goes to the Scarlet Knights. Penn State is in the bonus. Field goal percentage, you can see it right there. But Mike, I mentioned early on that Penn State only had 2 team fouls in the second half. They still have 2 to give.
And that could work against them. If Rutgers scores here and takes the lead, Penn State may want to foul them, and all that would happen was Rutgers out of bounds.
But how many times have you seen the clock going under 10 seconds? You're ready to set something up offensively, and you foul a guy and he's not in the act of shooting. It takes you right out of your continuity.
It does.
Foul in the backcourt, and I don't think that's what Coach Barhill was looking for, but he does stop it. 15 seconds left. Now they still got 1 more to give. That's 4 on Freddie Brown and Michael Jennings.
And a great move. They could foul one more time if they could get about 8 seconds off this clock. Foul with 7 seconds left.
That's the point I was making as far as putting a hardship, and there's another foul. That one against Monroe Brown.
But the clock didn't run.
Clock didn't run at all. That's not where they wanted it.
They should have let Duncan dribble a little bit, and he would have.
Freddie Barnes will come back in, and 0-0 Michael Jennings will go out.
Not even a second went off the clock, so it wasn't great strategy there. Now they can't foul.
Duncan with the spin move, not there, tipped, and Penn State has the rebound. Monroe Brown got it, and a foul in the backcourt. The Nittany Lions will go to the free throw line with 3 seconds left.
They had their money guy with the ball, Earl Duncan. He can penetrate and shoot the jumper better than anybody on Syracuse's team. It's too tough to get the ball to Keith Hughes in a short amount of time.
And Freddie Barnes, I should say, is an 80% free throw shooter. You look at Bruce Parkhill.
Money Brown did a great job in checking Earl Duncan. Monroe Brown is the best defensive player probably in the Atlantic 10, and he did the job. They do have 1 timeout left, and that's all they need, Rutgers.
Look for them to take it. Bob Wenzel has just signaled that if he makes it, call an immediate timeout. Gets it, and a timeout with 3 seconds left, and we're going to stay right here. Penn State with a 3-point margin, 58-55.
The problem here is, Ron, if they had that additional timeout that they used at the 4-minute mark, they could throw a pass to half court and call another timeout. They'd have 2 seconds left, then work something off a double pick. Now they have to go the length of the court with Penn State's defense all set up and ready. And I might add a very good man-to-man defense. So it does pose a problem for them. Is that concentration or isn't it concentration? They are going to know what the coach wants them to do, both teams.
Other end of the floor, Bob Wenzel with his instructions. 3 seconds left. His club trails by 3.
I would rather be in the Penn State huddle at this time. 3 seconds is not a long time, but remember Notre Dame against Syracuse, they threw that pass the length of the court, and for some reason Syracuse was fronting everybody and they got a man behind. Penn State will probably make them use a couple of dribbles before the shot. Rutgers, no timeouts.
3 seconds left. Penn State leading by 3. And another timeout as the pass came to just shy of midcourt.
Well,
to Duncan, and no time went off the clock. So
that's what I would have done if I had a timeout. Now, according to our people, they had no timeout.
Well, now let me tell you something. I wondered, they pointed toward the Penn State bench when the last timeout was taken. Not this one, but the one before, because Tim Higgins pointed in that direction. So obviously it was the Nittany Lions who had taken that one, and they left Rutgers with 1.
Oh, well, then that's our people aren't wrong then. It was Penn State. Very unusual timeout, but Penn State wanted to set up their defense. Everybody contributing in that huddle what they want to happen. Closer to the huddle, but I'm sure they're talking about Rutgers loves to use the back pick, where they come out and back pick. You send somebody to the hoop, and the guy that sets the pick steps out and gets the ball. Remember, they need a three-pointer.
Three-pointer on the way, no good. Mike Jones put up the three, and the Penn State Nittany Lions will head to Madison Square Garden.
And remember, this is at Rutgers.
Well, as you look at the floor here at the rack on the campus of Rutgers University, we mentioned to you that Penn State had a large following here, and they are covering the floor right now as the Nittany Lions will be in the semifinals. So let's go back to Chris Fowler, and it is Penn State winning tonight over Rutgers. Chris.
Okay, Ron, thanks very much. A reversal of the